Today we're going to take a look at a knife that I have really been looking forward to. Now, it is a remake from Kizer, and you can only get it from Mojave Outdoor. This is their exclusive T1. And guess what? I got both versions, so I'll be able to show you the differences between the new and the old one, along with their benefits, because they made some big changes here that you just got to see. Up on the screen are going to be some specs, and these are all measurements that I went ahead and I just took myself, but I'll also list them for you down in the description, along with the prices, links to buy, and if there's any coupon codes. Now, here's just a few quick size comparisons so you can get an idea of the true size of knife we're working with today. And we got up on top, of course, the Elementum, followed by the Rat 2, and then down at the bottom, the QSP Penguin. And you can see the T1 is, well, pretty much larger than all of them. Now, this was actually sent over to the channel by Mojave Outdoor, so I got to thank Jim over there sending this over. Thank you. And if you haven't already, make sure you go over to their website and join their rewards program, which, it just works like with other websites where you earn points that you can spend just like money. And did I mention they are the best place for Kizer exclusives like this? And if this is your first time here, hey, I'm Jay. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. It's kind of an exciting time to be in this hobby of knife collecting, because I don't know if you've noticed, but like most of the major brands, what they're doing is just releasing new versions of already existing knives. I don't know about you, but I've always kind of wondered what some of my knives would, what would they be like if they had different scales, or even a different blade finish, or heck, even different opening options, because that's exactly what's happening right now. Now, I think that there's two different perspectives which you could use to kind of look at this new version of the T1. Based on materials alone, you might consider this version to be, kind of a downgrade from the original titanium T1, because the stonewashed S35 VN blade is now been changed to, well, a black-coated 154 CM blade steel, which I think is a perfectly fine budget steel. But I got to tell you, when I first saw this, I was, I was kind of secretly hoping that it might have an M390 blade, kind of like what they did with that Yorkie, which has the exact same color combination going on. And the titanium scales are now going to be in black micarta. So, of course, that means it went from being a frame lock to nested liners. Instead of the shallow riding, milled titanium clip, we now get like a bug out sized deep carry pocket clip, which I kind of love. Unfortunately, it is still just it's a one position pocket clip, which is tip up righties only. Now, the second way of looking at this would be from a left-handed perspective, because this now, as a liner lock, really is a dream come true. And I say that because of, well, look at how close that the thumb stud is to the lock bar on the titanium version. So, when I go to open it as a lefty, I'm also at the same time, I'm putting pressure on the lock bar. And we all know what happens next. Absolutely nothing, because that blade, it doesn't open. So now that this is a liner lock, yeah, that problem is gone. And at the same time, the handle traction is also fixed, because, I always thought that the titanium was just way too slick. And another big change is going to be the weight. It went from the 4.35 ounces with this titanium down to 3.68 ounces, which I think that's a pretty good reduction. And you've just got to see this action here, because it makes the titanium, which you can see has, oh yeah, it has excellent action. It almost makes it look bad. Watch this. Oh, Jay. Watch this. Are you kidding me with that? I got to do it one more time because, well, I can't help myself. There is one small attention to detail that they included, which I really appreciate. It's that long, you see that long spine swedge on the handle, and you can see it runs the entire length of the titanium scales. And yes, it is on both sides, but they went ahead and they replicated that on this micarta, but it's really, really hard to see. And that's just because of the texture. Now, unfortunately, that spine swedge, it doesn't quite line up. I'm going to try and hold this steady. It doesn't quite line up. You see the flats on the blade? They don't quite line up, and I'm going to quickly show you the titanium like it does here. Yeah, you see that? How it's just like a nice, clean, straight line, and it travels all the way through that blade. But, you know, that's really minor, and it's only going to be noticeable, you know, by kind of obsessive people like myself. The handle thickness was also affected by the change in the handle scales. So the micarta here is going to be just slightly thicker than the titanium, which I like because it makes it just feel a little bit, it's a little more like hand filling. Of course, I would rather have like a titanium frame lock in S35VN steel. I mean, it's going to be a more durable knife with a blade that, you know, it should stay sharp quite a bit longer than 154 CM. But, you know, keep in mind, these are premium materials and with a very premium price tag attached to it. I mean, we're talking about an almost, get this, almost $100 price difference between these two. Now, I don't know about you, but that is a lot of money that many of us just simply cannot afford nowadays. So that just makes me really appreciate even more, you know, what Kizer and Mojave Outdoor, what they did here, because sure, they could have easily went ahead and just slapped on some G10 scales with standard liners, you know, called it a day. I like the direction that Kizer is headed with these kind of budget-ish Vanguard knives in micarta. Right about now, there's a video on the screen that I personally went ahead and picked out for you to go ahead and watch next. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. But I got to run. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.